What's going on, everybody? This is Preston here, and this is the 2024 Daytona 500 race review. And let me just gotta say that I literally thought after that Harrison Burton crash at the start of the race on lap 6, I literally thought this was going to be one of the most cleanest Daytona 500s I ever watched. I feel like I thought like this race was going to be the cleanest Daytona 500 since 2016, I think. 2016? 2016 or 2015, either one of those two, but wow. Yeah, the final 10 laps, well, the final 20 laps of this race were chaotic, but we're going to get to that in a minute, and let's get started with recapping this thing. So, yeah, so on the pole was Logano and Michael McDowell, and then behind them were the dual winners. So the green flag was out. They were already starting to push and move their way up towards the front, up until when Harrison Burton spun out, correcting Carson Hocevar. Harrison Burton went up the track, and collected Kaz Grala. Jimmy Johnson was involved. Austin Dillon was involved. Man, it's just tough luck for Harrison Burton, man. After that, I thought that was gonna be one of those cleanest Daytona 500s, clean and great. And yeah, guys. So stage one, I actually saw in stage one there was a bunch of strategy in stage one. Everyone was determining whether they should let off the gas in the draft and save fuel or go all out. And Blaney and Bell were the two leaders then. They decided to go all out, and up front they were like the Fords. Blaney was up there, Christopher Bell, but there was one driver, Joey Logano, who did win the pole. I feel like he had the fastest car of anybody in the field. Like, he can lead lines. He led the most laps in this race, and man, guys, so stage one was won by Chase Elliott. So Chase Elliott won stage one. And the Chevrolets and pit stops were the best manufacturer. Pit stop wise, executing on pit stops, they were the manufacturer that won in pit stops. It was chaotic in this race. I gotta say that. There was Josh Berry. He spun out. He and John Nemechek had a problem on pit road. Yeah, and I feel like Chevrolet, like I said, was indeed the best manufacturer when it comes to green flag pit stops. And then the second stage, we saw a little bit. We saw about the same thing, but other than the racing got a little bit more intense. Well, I really shouldn't say intense. It got more, a little bit more amped up than stage one. It seems like each stage the racing is getting amped up, and yeah, and some Joey Logano. Like, I saw at the end of stage two, the drivers were like up on the outside lane, don't even want to get to the bottom, because it was either the inside lane that wouldn't get going, in the outside lane wouldn't get going. It's either the middle lane. The middle lane, in my opinion, is the most consistent line to race in. And yeah, and stage two was won by Ryan Blaney, your defending series champion. And stage three, that was when the racing really started to get up to max level. So, yeah, Logano was up there. My favorite driver, Denny Hamlin, was up there. Other Fords, David Reagan, he started to show up in stage number 3. Yeah, and then Logano was up there leading for the most laps. And then after the green flag pit stops happened, the Chevrolet once again dominated the pit stop cycle. And then, after about 10 laps of green flag, on Honor My Seat racing, the big one happens, guys. It all started with a push from Alex Bowman into Byron. Byron got into Keselowski, then got into Logano, and then all heck just broke loose, guys. Blaney was involved. I actually, in his in-car camera, he grabbed his wrist. Like, his wrist got caught with the steering wheel. I thought Ryan Blaney had a wrist injury. I'm not gonna lie. I thought Blaney had a wrist injury. But, guys, he was okay. Thank goodness. Keselowski, man, he was good. He was okay. Everyone in that crash was okay. But, man, like, really, all the fast cars most of the fast cars that were in this race got completely taken out of. And Michael McDowell, I gotta talk about Michael McDowell for a minute. After, like, stage one, I don't know what happened to his car. Maybe he was down cylinder. Like, I don't know what was going on with McDowell's car. His car just was absolutely just that car just had no life. I don't know what happened to Michael McDowell. He started second, his car just like failed him or something. But then, like I said, back to that big crash that happened with 8 to go. Oh my gosh, guys. Oh my gosh. Like half the field was involved in that crash. I don't think I've seen that big of a crash since the 2020 Daytona 500 on the backstretch. Or wait a minute, the 2021 Daytona 500 where everyone crashed on lap 13. So that was the biggest crash I've seen in the Daytona 500 since 2021. So yeah, I collected. Unfortunately, I ended up collecting Denny Hamlin, which he ended up finishing into that top 20 though. So good thing you got a top 20 out of that. Good top 20. Tyler Reddick, another one of my alternate favorites, was involved. Kyle Larson, I think he spun in there. Suarez, I know, had a wild ride. But the thing is, how in the world did Ross Chastain and Chase Elliott evade that? How did they get out of there with very little contact? Gosh, luck was on their side. And then it was between Chastain and Byron. I think they were on the front row. And then it was a battle between them two. Drivers were trying to find the line on the outside lane. And then coming to the final lap, Ross Chastain, who was known for making bold moves, tried to squeeze one in, and it didn't work as he spins out and collects Austin Cindric with him. So, and I think David Reagan was involved, and also with Ryan Preece. So, yeah, and then that ended the race. Caution was out, and when the white flag was taken, the caution was out on the final lap, and William Byron gets his first Daytona 500 win. William Byron wins the Daytona 500, and this is Hendrick Motorsports' 40th. It's been 40 years since Hendrick Motorsports started as an organization, started their first race, and they won in their 40th anniversary of their first race. So that's special for them. Congratulations to William Byron, man. Wow. Just happy. I'm happy for William Byron. Last year he had a breakout year, and I feel like this year I sense that this year's might get better for him. So, yeah. So William Byron, congratulations! You are the 2024 Daytona 500 champion. Alex Bowman, he comes in right behind him, finishes second. And what do you know? Hendrick hasn't won a Daytona 500 since 2014 with Dale Earnhardt Jr. Yeah, I think I'm right. 2014 with Dale Earnhardt Jr. It's been 10 years since Hendrick Motorsports won a Daytona 500, and William Byron has won a Daytona before, but it was his very first win back in 2020, the Coke 0400. So I'm gonna let you guys know on that. William Byron, man, is your 2024 Daytona 500 champion, and yeah, guys. So in my opinion, this race has had a lot of strategy in it in the first half, and then in the second half was a lot of bold racing and a lot of aggressive moves. So, yeah, so the first race, half of the race in my opinion, was very full of strategy. Like whether you should save fuel or whether you should go to the back, go to the front, race it out. And then drivers would either go, like I said, to the back or the front and race it out. And the racing for the stages was intense, was intense, but not as intense as the finish. So, yeah. Chase Elliott won Stage 2. Chase Elliott won Stage 1. Ryan Blaney won Stage 2. And William Byron won the race. And, wow, guys. Just, this race, in my opinion, was good. This was a good, solid race. In my opinion, I thought this was going to be one of the cleanest Daytona 500s, but I sensed a wreck, and I knew a wreck was going to happen with like 10 to go. I knew that was going to happen. I sensed it. I felt it coming, and it came true. A big crash happened in turn 3, and yeah, Ross Chastain, man, like I said, I don't know how he was able to avoid that crash. He almost got hooked. If he would have got hooked, who knows what could have happened. So, yeah, guys. So, wow, this was a good race, guys. In typical NASCAR fashion to start the 2024 season. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the results. Alright everyone, here is the race results. William Byron won the race. He is your 2024 Daytona 500 champion, finishes first. Alex Bowman, who came up short, look at that, 0.6 seconds. Look at that, 6/1000ths of a second. That was how close Alex Bowman was to winning the Daytona 500 according to this. So, yeah, Christopher Bell finishes third, I believe, for the second season in a row. He was able to evade that crash. Corey LaJoie, for a second, I thought he was going to actually win the Daytona 500. For a second there, I thought LaJoie would win the Daytona 500. Wow. What about for Bubba Wallace? Top 5. I heard he didn't have enough fuel to make it to the end, but luckily for him, that caution came out, and he was able to score top 5. So way to go, Bubba. Let's go. Top 5. AJ will finish 6th. John Nemechek was 7th. Eric Jones, I'm not sure if he was even involved I think he was involved in that crash, yeah. He was able to come back to 8th. Noah Gragson 9th. And Chase Briscoe rounds out the top 10. Kyle Larson finishes 11th. Kyle Busch 12th. He was up front battling for the end of Stage 2. And he finishes 12th. Zane Smith 13th. Chase Elliott 14th. Martin Truex Jr. I thought this guy would be done. I thought Martin Truex Jr. would be DNF'd, but wow, he ended up finishing 15th out of all that. Daniel Hemrick 16th, Ty Gibbs 17th, Chris Buescher, he is my pick for the Daytona 500, and he didn't even show up. He didn't even show up in this race, in my opinion. Denny Hamlin, my favorite driver, finished 19th, like I said, and then David Reagan 20th after he got clipped in that final last lap crash, and then Ross Chastain 21st, Austin Cindric 22nd, Ryan Preece 23rd. These were all the cars who were a lap down. Ryan Preece, Riley Herbst, Josh Berry, Justin Haley, Anthony Alfredo, Jimmy Johnson, which ever since that crash on lap 6, his chances were over. Tyler Reddick, he was involved in that last lap, in that big crash. Same with Ryan Blaney. Blaney, I thought his wrist was broken, like I said, but good thing it didn't. Wow, that was, woof. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., your defending Daytona 500 winner from last year, he crashes out. Joey Logano, arguably, in my opinion, the fastest car in the Daytona 500. He finishes 32nd. He led the most laps. Brad Keselowski, 33rd. Daniel Suarez, 34th. He was contending for the most part today. Todd Gilliland, he was contending in Stage 2. And then Michael McDowell had some sort of, some sort of engine-related problem. Then we have Austin Dillon, who was involved in that crash on lap 6, along with Kaz Grala, Harrison Burton, and Carson Hocevar. That will round out your Daytona 500 race results. So yeah, guys, in conclusion, the race for the Daytona 500, in my opinion, do I think this is better than last year's? Yes. I think this race, in my opinion, was better than last year's race. And yeah, this was just about the same. I thought this would be one of the most cleanest and one of the most highly raced, most competitive Daytona 500, in my opinion, with the next-gen cars. So, in my opinion, this is the best Daytona 500 race with the next-gen car. But I did notice something. That in this race, drivers who were alliances, manufacturers really didn't work like that much. For example, the Penske teammates for the end of Stage 2, Blaney didn't even help his teammate. He went down and went for the stage win. I think Joey Logano, did that same thing too. It's like, and then the RFK Fords, I thought they all were gonna lead at one point. They didn't. I think Brad did touch the lead. I'm not sure if Brad even touched the lead. I don't think he did. He was in the top 5 at one point, but I don't think he even touched the lead. And Chris Buescher, man, I expected him to at least be in contention. I think Chris Buescher wasn't even in the top 10. I don't know what was going on with him. Ty Gibbs, he was really quiet all race long. I think he was a lap down in Stage 2, but he got the free pass. But wow, guys. This race was borderline better than last year's. And yeah, guys, this Daytona 500, it never gets old, guys. Racing down to the wire and good racing Great racing, up on the edge of your seat type of racing. Ones that I like, big super speedway racing fan. And guess what? We'll be going back to it. We'll be going to Atlanta next weekend. So more super speedway action. So that's gonna be fun. And yeah, guys, I will gonna give this race a solid 8 out of 10. An 8 out of 10 for this Daytona 500. And congratulations to William Byron on getting his first career Daytona 500 win. And yeah, Hendrick Motorsports, so this is their 40th anniversary, and it's 40 years ago today was their first ever race, and they won. And Alex Bowman finishes second. And all their Hendrick cars finished inside the top 20. Yeah, they all finished inside the top 20 for Hendrick Motorsports. So yeah, Hendrick Motorsports hasn't won a Daytona 500 since Dale Jr. 2014, and now 10 years later, William Byron in the 24 has done it. So, yeah, congratulations to William Byron. Yeah, guys, this race was postponed to tonight, well, today, due to weather being a big issue. And then speaking of weather, the Xfinity race was originally supposed to run Saturday, but that got postponed to Monday, and then they got pushed back to Monday night, which I think it might actually be starting right now. So yeah, so guys, that is it for this Daytona 500 race review. What did you guys think about this race? Let me know down in the comments below. Congratulations to William Byron. And anyways, guys, this is Preston signing off. Peace out.